What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode on EI Entertainment Studios, back at it with another debate episode. Today's debate episode, we're going to be talking about Shin Biollante versus Burning Godzilla. So here's the plan, folks. We're going to go over these two giant creatures. We're going to go over their characteristics, backstories, we're basically going to analyze them. Once we're done with that, we're going to put them up against each other in a death battle. So without further ado, let's begin with the backstory and analyzation of Burning Godzilla. So Burning Godzilla is a hesei Godzilla, and his body is overheating and melting down, and as a result, he is going through a nuclear supercharged state. To give a deeper backstory, a deeper understanding, if you're not familiar with Burning Godzilla, so we're talking about the 1995 Burning Godzilla, not the new Burning Godzilla in the Legendary Monsterverse. And so essentially this is the final Godzilla in the Heisei series, where he actually does die. Unfortunately, he melts down and a new child of Godzilla is born. Reborn, we should say, or born again, whatever. And it's in the film Godzilla vs. Destroyer. Now, again, I just want to repeat myself so we're not confused here. This is not, and I repeat, not the same Godzilla as the legendary Burning Godzilla. This one dies, the other one doesn't. This one's 1995, the other one is back in 2019. Alright, now for abilities, we're going to do a quick skim, and then we're going to go over every other stat that we can. We're going to come back to the abilities, do a deep analysis. For right now, we're just going to do a quick skim, so don't worry, we'll come back to it. Supercharged atomic breath, combat, aggression. Territorial level is high, aggression is high, biome is earth, and height is 100 meters tall. Alright, let's go back to the abilities. Let's do a deep analysis. So the first one is called the Supercharged Atomic Breath. Now you might be, why supercharged? Well, this Godzilla is not a regular Godzilla. He is in a burning state. So in general, usually Godzilla Atomic Breath is blue. Now, this atomic breath is going through a change. His body is overheating, and it's a, if I could put it in a perspective, it's a giant blast of overheating nuclear radiation of fire. I think that's the perfect description for this. That's essentially what this supercharged atomic breath is. It's essentially the double strength of a regular atomic breath. It is powerful and it is deadly. That is the supercharged atomic breath. Next we have combat. This Godzilla is known for incredible combat. I mean, we saw in the film Godzilla vs. Destroyer, he was kicking Destroyer's ass. To put it into nice terms. Obviously, Destroyer got some pretty good hits on Godzilla as well, but Godzilla is top-notch on combat. He's very built. The Heisei Burning Godzilla is a pretty built Godzilla. And finally, aggression. Let's not forget, he is in a burning state. He is pissed off. He is overheating. He's about to die. Nothing to lose. So he is going all out on aggression. So his aggression adds to his combat, which makes him even more deadlier. Alright. Now this essentially is going to sum up Burning Godzilla. Let's move on to the interesting culprit, Shin Biollante. I really believe this is going to be a difficult and interesting debate. It's going to be hard to see who wins, because both of these kaijus are essentially very powerful. Alright, Shin Biollante came into existence when the coagulant that was sprayed into Shin Godzilla's mouth right before he froze, one of the small humanoids was able to fall off the tail before all of them froze. From a long fall, the humanoid was bleeding and looked for a place to rest and happened to come across a field of roses, and that they could be food. The humanoid started eating all of those roses, and his DNA mixed with all of the roses he had devoured, including the blood he spilled on the ones he didn't eat. As you know, Shin Godzilla spills blood, or it's type of fluid, we could say. Whatever, blood, whatever you want to call it. The roses came alive and decapitated the humanoid and formed Shin Biollante. Pretty gruesome. So this is the backstory I personally came up with for the character of Shin Biollante if he were to exist, which would be amazing. Abilities. And then, same thing, we're going to do a quick skim. Spiked atomic laser, 10,000 tentacles, tentacle poison laser, regeneration, instant adaptation, false heart trap. Territorial is high, aggression is low, biome is unlimited, and the height we know is 252 meters tall. She is a big girl. She is big. She's massive. As we know, Biollante has always been about the double sometimes even triple the height of Godzilla. I mean, she's humongous. She is humongous. Alright, now, let's go back to the abilities, and let's do a quick, or not a quick skim, I should say deep analysis, because this is going to be an interesting one. If you've never seen a Shin Biollante debate video, you're in for a ride. So, spiked atomic laser. Let's talk about that. So, this essentially comes from the form of Shin Godzilla's DNA. So, if you've ever seen Shin Godzilla, he has lasers that shoot from all over his body. Well, essentially, this is about the same thing, where this Shin Biollante is shooting lasers from all over her body. But the difference between this and, say, you know, a regular atomic laser is that she's made, you know, she's a rose, right? And so what this means is she has giant pieces of thorns all over her body. And those get shot in with the laser. So think about it. It is a laser with giant thorns, and I mean millions of them, inside of the laser getting shot at the opponent. So it's not only it's a laser, it's giant thorns cutting the body up as well. This is the spiked atomic laser, and it's all over the body. Okay, next we have 10,000 tentacles. A regular Biollante has 4 tentacles. This one has 10,000 tentacles. Obviously they each have their own mouth, their teeth, their tongues. They could bite 10,000 times. The force of 10,000 bites if they're all bite at the same time. Absolutely deadly. Now, that's not the only thing with the tentacles. We know there is a tentacle poison laser, which essentially they numb the opponent, and it's deadly because imagine you cannot feel if you're getting hurt, so you're not going to go in defensive mode, and you're just going to get basically destroyed without defending yourself. You're going to think you're fine, or the opponent's going to think he's fine, and they're going to fight Biollante, and she's going to just absolutely kill them. They're bleeding out, but they don't know they're bleeding out. They don't feel the pain. Next, you have regeneration. Obviously, this comes from Shin DNA, because he is known to regenerate, so Shin Biollante, she can regenerate. Instant adaptation, again, comes from Shin DNA, the evolutionary adaptation ability. Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, meaning Shin Biollante can form and adapt to the situation where she needs to. She can learn opponents' abilities and adapt in a way where those abilities don't affect her. It is a very incredible ability. And finally, we have the good old false heart trap. Now we know the regular Biollante's essentially heart is right in the middle, the orange part of a Biollante, right, you know, in the middle of her stomach, and that's how Godzilla essentially killed her in Godzilla vs. Biollante in the film. And this one is an evolved Biollante, and this is actually a false heart trap. Most opponents are going to aim for that heart as a weak zone, but instead it's an actual mirror. So what it does is, let's just say Godzilla, for example, right? Godzilla were to use the atomic breath on the false heart trap, the atomic breath, or actually, I mean just any ability, will literally just mirror back to you. It will just swing back and come back at you. Essentially, it's just an Uno reverse card. I can put in perspective. It is a powerful ability. Okay, folks, this is going to sum up both of these two giant kaijus. Now we're going to head to the part we've all been waiting for, the death battle. So this is how it's going to go. Far range and close range. Why? Let me explain. Far range because some of their abilities will be limited, and we're trying to see, even if some abilities of an opponent is limited, can they win? Can they defend themselves? How good will they do? It's a great, wonderful way of testing them out. And finally, which is close range, is all out. Who is the better one? Just essentially tears the other one to pieces. So let's begin with far range. Here are the rules. They must be, and I repeat, they must be 700 meters apart. They cannot be closer. That obviously means no physical contact. So let's see what abilities Shin Biollante can or cannot use in terms of far range of 700 meters apart. Alright. Spiked atomic laser obviously is meant to go far distances, so that's gonna work. 10,000 tentacles. The tentacles, here's the thing. Obviously, she can't reach 10,000 tentacles 700 meters. They're not that long. But she can use them in a defensive way, right? She could cover her body up. So yeah, 10,000 tentacles in defensive mode. Tentacle poison laser, unfortunately, will not travel as far as 700 meters, so that cannot be used. Regeneration doesn't matter. It's a defensive ability or whatever. It doesn't matter how far you are. So regeneration is fine. Isn't adaptation will work. The false heart trap will not work. It's too far. 700 meters is too far for it to mirror. So essentially the only thing she can actually use for a real offensive ability, and there you go, there's Burning Godzilla for us right there, but an actual ability is a spiked atomic laser. And that, yeah, only offensive ability. Okay, let's see what abilities Burning Godzilla can or cannot use. Supercharged atomic breath. Obviously, no questions asked. It's meant to go far distances. It's gonna work. No doubt. Combat and aggression obviously are not gonna cut it. Right? I mean, okay, well, aggression, I guess it doesn't really matter, but combat, he needs physical touch to do combat or physical contact, however you want to say it. So that's not going to work. Alright, here is the plan. Let's begin. I personally see, from my experience of these two kaijus, that Godzilla, or actually Burning Godzilla, is going to be the first one to attack. Obviously, the only choice he has in far distance, and it's going to be the only thing he's going to use, is a supercharged atomic breath. And it's immediately, that is going to cut off probably 1,000 to 2,000 of Shin Biollante's tentacles in a blast. Easily. It's so hot, it's so sharp, it's fast, it's supercharged. This atomic breath is incredible. It's gonna do a lot of damage. It's, you know, I mean, it's gonna cut through the tentacles. Obviously, Shin Biollante is gonna use those tentacles as a defensive technique, covering her body up. But eventually, those tentacles are gonna get worn off, cut off at one certain point. All of them, or most of them, and he's gonna get to the body. But here's where things get interesting. Remember, Biollante, I'm talking about the regular Biollante, kind of put us into perspective. The regular Biollante we know is a powerful kaiju, but when she's in her final form, as we're talking about today, she's pretty weak if you think about it. Godzilla was able to absolutely destroy her by shooting her heart, her weak zone, and she got damaged very badly, right? But let's not forget an interesting thing here. This Biollante, which we call Shin Biollante, has adaptational abilities, which she can adapt to the situation, to the environment, to the ability, to fit to her needs, or her not taking any negative effect whatsoever. Adapt in a way where her body is fine with that, whatever that thing is. And so first of all, Godzilla, or we should say Burning Godzilla, cannot kill Shin Biollante by shooting at her heart, because it's no longer a heart. The heart is somewhere else, who knows, but it's not there. And that is a false heart trap, and nothing essentially happens to it. It's a little mirror. Obviously not going to mirror back in a far distance, but it's also not going to take any damage. So that's important to note. Also, she can adapt. So eventually, she will adapt into a way where the atomic breath will not affect the tentacles. Her tentacles will not get cut off. Like, her body will sustain the materials, the atoms, whatever is in this atomic breath, the supercharged atomic breath, and nothing will happen to her. That is the deadly thing. I mean, and don't blame me, right? I mean, Shin Godzilla was made like this in the film, and we're essentially putting his DNA in Biollante, or making Shin Biollante, and she gets what he has. And essentially, Shin Biollante will use a spiked atomic laser on Burning Godzilla, which is, I mean, it's thousands and thousands of lasers all over the body with giant pieces of thorns in them. And if she's not getting hurt by the atomic breath, you know, she's all adapting, the spiked atomic laser is gonna completely cut Godzilla to millions and millions of pieces. And he's gonna get, his organs are gonna fly out, his face is gonna get cut off, he is gonna get all blood all over the place, he's gonna die. As simple as that. Obviously, to my opinion, simply my opinion, but this is how I see it happening. So what we're going to say is 1-0 in terms of far distance. The winner is Shin Biollante. So Shin Biollante 1, Godzilla 0. Now, let's go to close range. Alright. Now, Face to face, let's take this into consideration. Shin Biollante stands 252 meters tall, Burning Godzilla stands 100 meters tall. Definitely quite the difference. However, let's not forget that Burning Godzilla, at least I believe that he is still physically stronger than Shin Biollante. Sometimes size matters, sometimes it doesn't. But essentially, for this creature, size does not matter. Burning Godzilla is an absolute powerhouse, and even however big Shin Biollante is, she's big. She's humongous. Face to face, Godzilla's gonna be able to hold her off to an extent, but she's not gonna be. She's not gonna be able to just smack him down easily. That's not gonna happen. This thing is too tough. But we do have to recognize there's 10,000 tentacles all at once, forcing their power on Burning Godzilla. Eventually, they are gonna overpower him, including the full body of Shin, Biollante. But in a close proximity, he's gonna grab those tentacles, he's gonna bite those tentacles, he is going to rip them and fight them, and it's gonna be a shit show. But we have to be honest here. There's 10,000 of them. Eventually, they're gonna pick up Godzilla, and as soon as he uses the atomic breath, most likely he's gonna hit the heart. It's gonna mirror right back to him, and it's gonna keep on doing that. And if that doesn't kill him, the spiked atomic laser will, if Shin Biollante hasn't ripped him apart yet with the tentacles. So, however way we put it, I see Shin Biollante winning 2-0. Obviously, again, if you don't agree with me, that's fine. You can debate me in the comment section below. I actually want to hear different opposition to this. This is my opinion, and I see this happening. 2-0 of Shin Biollante winning. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great and wonderful day.